Let's go racing at Gulfstream. 7 horses are entering the starting gate on Saturday, February 1st for the Holy Bull, a mile and a 16 stakes race that is giving out 20 Kentucky Derby points to the winner. Remember, in order to get into the Kentucky Derby starting gates, you have to get those Kentucky Derby points. Oh, and by the way, this isn't the only race that's giving out Kentucky Derby points this weekend. We have the Withers at Aqueduct and the Robert B. Lewis at Santa Anita. So, if you stick to the end, I'm going to give you information on key horses in those 2 races as well. But here, we're going to do a deep dive into all 7 horses. As always, I give you the stats, you make the picks. Hi, it's Maura from Trifecta and a little bit extra, and we're about to go into all 7 horses. But if you don't want to hear about all 7, no worries. There are timestamps below. Just scroll to the horse you're most interested in. Now let's get started with the number 1 horse, Kinetic Control. The number 1 horse is Kinetic Control. He's tried this distance 3 times, getting the win last time out. Now that's really important when you're looking at 3-year-olds going the longer distances. Do they have the experience at the distance of the race? He is trained by Dale Romans and will be ridden by Junior Alvarado. 4 starts, 1 win, 2 places. In a $120,000 maiden race at Churchill Downs, he was off a bit slow, off the pace. But at the end, he made a bid, came in second. Then he goes to Keeneland for a $100,000 maiden race, and he got steadied. Unfortunately, comes in 6th, 13 lengths behind. Goes back to Churchill Downs, another $120,000 maiden race, gate to wire, winner. He actually had to dig in to put away a competitor, and that was super impressive. The horses that came in 2nd and 3rd, they improved their speed rating next time out. Now, if he gets out of the gate really well and gets to the lead, he's a very intriguing horse in this race. Horses that are on or near the lead do really well in the Holy Bull. He's by Not This Time, and Not This Time as a sire of 2 and 3-year-olds has really good stats. And he has Dale Romans, who is having a superb meet at Gulfstream. He will need to improve his speed rating, but he's making his 3-year-old debut, and that can happen. Can Kinetic Control propel himself to victory and on to the Kentucky Derby Trail? The number 2 horse in the Holy Bull is Ferocious. He is a $1.3 million purchase by Flatter and by far is the classiest horse in the race. Class meaning he's been competing against horses with really strong talent. Now, Ferocious is trained by Gustavo Delgado and will be ridden by Javier Castellano. And this is your Kentucky Derby winning team with Mage. He exploded on the scene in Saratoga, winning his maiden race by 7 lengths on a muddy track. Then goes to the G1 Hopeful, comes in 2nd behind Chancer McPatrick, goes to the G1 Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland, comes in 2nd behind East Avenue. Now that day, he was really fractious at the gate. I was at the race that day, and he threw his rider right off of him at the gate. I think what I said at that moment was, he is ferocious. He then goes to the G1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Race, where he was kind of shuffled and unfortunately came in 5th. Now, what I really like about Ferocious is the experience at this distance and the class. Class is very important when sizing up these 3-year-olds. Also, his speed puts him squarely in the mix with the other contenders. The other thing I like, he's getting blinkers, and blinkers help a horse focus. This will be the first race that he'll be running with blinkers on. Will Ferocious roar himself into victory and the winner's circle on Saturday? Look out, here comes Tappan Street, a $1 million purchase by Into Mischief. This is our number 3 horse in the Holy Bull. He's trained by Brad Cox and will be ridden by Luis Saez. 1 start, 1 win. That win came here at Gulfstream. 7 furlong, $65,000 maiden race where he won by over a little bit of a length to Bob Moe. Now, Bob Moe just competed on Pegasus Cup Day, and unfortunately, he regressed in speed. What I really like about Tappan Street is speed, speed, speed. His speed puts him squarely in contention with the other contenders. But he also is going to be on or near the lead. And we already mentioned horses that do well in this race tend to be on or near the lead. I also like the fact that he's got Brad Cox and Luis Saez, 31% win rate there. What gives me pause is the lack of class and the lack of experience at this distance. But he was $1 million purchase, so there has to be high expectations for this horse, right? And he's by Into Mischief, and Into Mischief does really well as a sire of routers. Can Tappan Street prove that he could go this distance and compete at this level on Saturday in the Holy Bull? The number 4 horse, Guns Loaded, he is loaded to go right to the lead based on his running style. He's an $800,000 purchase by Gunrunner, and he's trained by Jose D'Angelo and will be ridden by Irad Ortiz. Irad Ortiz, he is the leading rider here at Gulfstream. Oh, and together, they have a 30% win rate. This horse always hits the board. 3 starts, 2 wins, 1 place. In a $100,000 maiden race at Saratoga, he stumbled at the start, but he was able to get second behind Dapper Moon. Then he goes to a $120,000 6 furlong maiden race at Churchill Downs. Gate to wire, wins by a couple lengths. Then he comes here to Gulfstream for the Mucho Macho Man, a mile stakes race. Again, gate to wire, wins by a neck, showing grit. I like the fact that he has that leading running style because that's going to do really well in the Holy Bull. I also like his team, especially getting Irad. But this horse has yet to go 2 turns. He is by Gunrunner, and Gunrunner is a good sire of routers and was a good router himself. So will Guns Loaded fire to victory in the Holy Bull? Don't be fooled by the number 5 horse. He's not joking. In my opinion, he is a serious contender in this race. Trained by Gene Carroll and ridden by Johnny Velasquez, this Practical Joke colt has 5 starts, 2 wins, 1 place, and 1 show. 4 of his starts were up at Woodbine on the synthetic. He won at this distance in the G3 Bet 365 Gray Stakes. He was very patient in that race, going 4 to 5 wide and winning by more than 4 lengths. Then he comes to the G2 Kentucky Jockey Club. Again, this distance, but on the dirt. He was really bothered at the start, off a step slow, and unfortunately finished 8th. I would just strike through that race. Now, since then, he's been training really well at Palm Meadows, even getting a bullet workout over the last couple weeks. He will need to improve his speed and get back to where he was at Woodbine. But if he wasn't a serious contender, why is he carrying more weight, even more than Ferocious? The number 6 horse, Burning Glory, he is shining brighter and brighter in each of his races. Trained by Bill Mott and ridden by Tyler Gaffleone, this horse has 3 starts, 1 win, and 1 place. The place came at this distance at Churchill Downs. In a $120,000 maiden race, he was off a bit slow and off the pace, but he was able to finish from 7th to 2nd. Then he goes to a mile race at Churchill Downs, $120,000 maiden race, where he was mid-pack, duels, and wins by a neck. I really like that grit. I like the fact he has experience at this distance and finished strong in that race. And I like the fact he's got Tyler Gaffleone. Tyler Gaffleone is 2nd in the standings behind Irad at Gulfstream. And this horse has really strong late pace. He may be picking up a lot of pieces at the end. The number 7 horse, Burnham Square, he always hits the board. 3 starts, 1 win, 1 place, and 1 show. Now, first 2 times out, we saw an off-the-pace running style. In a 6 furlong maiden race at Keeneland in October, he was off the pace, goes 8 wide, and finishes strong, coming in 2nd. Then he goes into a $120,000 maiden race at Churchill Downs, 18 to 1 that day, again off the pace, but finishes strong and gets 3rd behind Monet's Magic. Now, I do want to note Monet's Magic just competed in the Southwest Stakes last weekend and unfortunately regressed in speed. Burnham Square comes here to Gulfstream, this distance. He gets Edgar Zayas aboard, post position 1, goes gate to wire, completely changes his running style, but wins by 9 lengths. That's insane. I do want you to note, however, the drop in class. That was a $65,000 maiden race. Now, he keeps Edgar Zayas and he keeps the blinkers. So will we see that front running style that does really well in the Holy Bull? I do want you to note also, he will be coming out of post position 7, so that may be a little harder than coming out of post position 1. He does have some really strong workouts leading up to this race, bullet workouts, going 59 and change for 5 furlongs. Which Burnham Square will we see on Holy Bull Day? Now, before we go, as promised, I do want to give you some thoughts on the other Kentucky Derby prep races this weekend, the Withers at Aqueduct and the Robert B. Lewis at Santa Anita. Let's start with the Withers at Aqueduct. a mile and an eighth on the dirt. This is the longest Kentucky Derby prep race we have this weekend. And here's what I would look at first. I'd look at the horses that have gone and fared well at the longer distances. So for the Withers, that's 2 horses, the number 5, Mo Quality, and the number 7, Omaha. The number 5, Mo Quality, is trained by Christopher Davis and will be ridden by Kenny Carmouche. 3 starts, 1 win, and 2 places. The last time we saw him was at the beginning of January in the Smarty Jones, where he finished very strong behind Coal Battle. And Coal Battle is a very talented horse who has won both of his Kentucky Derby prep races. The Smarty Jones was at a mile and a 16th distance. The number 7 horse, Omaha, is trained by Michael Gorham and will be ridden by Raul Mina. Now this horse at Laurel in November on a muddy track going a mile and a 16th finishes 7 lengths above the other contenders. Then follows that up with a second place finish in the Jerome behind Cyclone State. Also to note, has been increasing his speed in each race. I do want to throw one more horse into the mix for the Withers, and that's the number 6 horse, Captain Cook. His sire is Practical Joke, and he produced Practical Move, who won at a mile and an eighth distance at Santa Anita. Last time out in the 7 furlong race here at Aqueduct on a muddy track, he wins by 9 lengths, and his speed puts him in contention with the other horses. Moving on to the Robert B. Lewis at Santa Anita, this seems like Bob Baffert's race. We've got 5 horses, and 3 are trained by Bob Baffert. Now, out of those 3, I'm going to focus in on 2. The number 2 horse, Citizen Bull, and the number 3 horse, Rodriguez. The Robert B. Lewis is a mile distance on the dirt, and this is the shortest distance of our Kentucky Derby prep races this weekend. The number 2 horse, Citizen Bull, will be ridden by Martin Garcia. Last time we saw him was in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, where he won gate to wire. He was also my pick that day. Prior to that, he won the G1 American Pharoah, gate to wire. We haven't seen him since November, Breeders' Cup weekend, but he has been working consistently since December, even putting in some bullet workouts. The number 3 horse, Rodriguez, will be ridden by Juan Hernandez. He's by Authentic. Now, he won at the mile distance last time out, gate to wire. He put in some blazing hot speed that day, and his speed ratings are better than Citizen Bull. But that was a $60,000 maiden race. So Citizen Bull has the upper hand on class. What's going to win out? Speed or class? What a great weekend for racing. 3 Kentucky Derby prep races. I hope you all find your winner and sashay away with your money. If you like my channel, like, subscribe, comment. Find me at www.trifectaandextra.com. Cheers.